Hi everybody, today we're going to have a look at a suggested solution. There are many solutions to this problem. We're going to look at a suggested solution to the Searching for Students pseudocode challenge part A. A computer program stores student data in a file. Each line of data has the name of a student followed by a score in the range 49 to 99. So this is an example of an entry in the file. In fact, let's just imagine what the file looks like. So this is one entry in the file, and then another entry could be etc, etc, etc. Okay? Now then, a function getScore takes a student name as a parameter and searches for that student in the file. So let's just imagine what a calling program might look like. So in a computer program, we could do this. We're going to call the function getScore, and we need to remember that it has a parameter, which is a student name. So let's just give it Jack Jones. So that's what a calling program might look like. So the function takes a student name as a parameter and searches for that student in the file. If it finds the student, it returns the score as an integer. Okay? So for example, we would search for Jack Jones in this file. Now it's a little bit complicated because yes, we can find Jack Jones, but we can't do a direct comparison with this string and this string because they're not the same. This string has some additional information on the end, so we need to do a little bit of string processing to help us solve this problem. So let's have a look at how to do that. First of all, of course, let's just create the function header for the getScore function. It takes a student name as a parameter, so don't forget to tell the pseudocode what the data type of that parameter is, and also it's a function, so don't forget to explicitly state what the function returns, the data type, and it returns an integer. Okay, it returns a score as an integer. So that's the function header. Now we need to declare some variables, and I'll do that in a minute. I'm just going to start coding a little bit, and I'll try to determine what variables I want to use. So we'll get back to declarations in a moment. Okay? So a function getScore takes a student name as a parameter and searches for the student in the file. So we need to open the file, and we need to be explicit. Oh, this is annoying. The problem doesn't tell me the name of the text file. Okay, let's just make one up. I don't think it's supremely important. Let's just make it up. Students.txt. And we're going to open this file for read. We're reading the file, so don't forget to open, in this case, open file, blah, blah, for read. That's important, part of pseudocode. Now we're going to process the file to read it. So in pseudocode, this is how to process an entire file. We're just going to use a while loop to do it. We're saying while not end of file, this file, we're going to do something. So there are some useful things that will help me solve this problem. First of all, I need to understand that this name, for example, Jack Jones, might be in here, but we can't do a direct comparison because this data in the file has some additional information attached to it. So we can't just say if name equals this line of the file. Unfortunately, we can't do that simple logic because they're simply not the same. We need to extract this from the line that we're currently reading. So first of all, let's just read the next line in the file. So I'm just going to read the next piece of information in the file into a variable in my computer program. Let's call it, I'm going to call it sData, student data. Okay. So this is going to store the current line that we're processing from the file in my computer function. So I've grabbed it from the file. Now what I want to do is try to see if this or this or this, I need to see if this is the same as this parameter that we're going to be processing in the getScore function. Okay, so what we want to do is find the length of this and then take the same number of characters from this and just see if they're the same. And if they're the same, we've probably got the right student. Okay? So let's have a go. There is some logic here which suggests that's not always going to be true. But for this exercise, let's stick with that logic. If these number of characters are the same as these number of characters, then we're just going to say we found the student. Okay. So first of all, let's find out how many characters the parameter has. So this is the parameter name. And we're going to use the length built-in function. So I'm going to say plength, which is parameter length, is going to be assigned the length of the parameter. So this will give us an integer. And in this situation, it will, if this name is Jack Jones, then length name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So that's going to give us 10. Now I can use that information to grab the first 10 characters of the current line in the file that I'm processing. So I'm going to grab the first 10 characters. So let's do that. What am I going to call this variable? F name, so the name in the file, is equal to, or is assigned, I'm going to use the left function to do this. I'm going to start at the left, and I'm going to take out p-length characters. Okay, so sData, remember, is the current line that we're processing, and plength is the number of characters that we want to grab, and that number of characters is determined by the parameter. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. We're going to go into the current line that we're processing, and we're going to grab the first, in this example, 10 characters. Okay, and now we can compare. So if those 10 characters from the line in the file is the same as the parameter that we're processing, then we need to grab the score because we found the name. So we need to now get the score, which is the final 2 characters of what I'm calling sData. So let's grab the score. Score is going to be assigned write sData, which is the current line from the file that I'm processing. Let's imagine I'm processing this line here. This is my sData that I've just read. And I'm going to grab those 2 characters. Now the problem is that this gives us a string, right? The write function returns a string, okay? But the score has to be an integer because this function returns an integer. So I just need to do this. Let's use the string to num built-in function. So let's take that string, convert it to be a num, and then just reassign it back to itself. So we've converted it to be an integer. And that's the thing that we can return. And that is the end of our while loop. That's all that happens. It's just going to go through every line in the file looking for name. Okay, using this logic. Okay. And if it finds the name, then it extracts the score and returns it. We do need to do a conversion. Now what happens if we reach the end of the file, but we didn't find the name in the file? Well, that's when we need to return -1. So after we've finished processing, if we reach this line of code, it means we didn't find the name. So we simply return -1. And don't forget, before we return, because that's when the function will finish, let's not forget to close the file. Don't forget to close the file, and don't forget to end your function, because that's the end of it. And now, you might have already done this, but I do it kind of at the end. I just leave a little space at the top, so this is where I'm going to declare all of my variables that I use in my solution. So I can see that sData is a string, fname is a string, score ultimately is an integer. So sData and fname are strings, and score is an integer. Is that everything that I've got? Score, fname, oh, plength. Plength is also an integer. And I think that is a solution to this problem. Take a moment to think about the logical steps in the solution. And please talk to someone or do some research if any of that doesn't make sense.